last division. So why do these all the same day? Well, regular season starts on Wednesday. Let's get it out there so we can have this debate. And then Wednesday, we're rolling right into the videos during actual regular season games. Very excited about that. Very excited about that. And for the fact that from this coming Thursday until 2 Thursdays after, so from the 5th till the 19th, I'm free. There's no work outside of talking to you guys and researching stuff hockey related, and we're going to go to Vancouver. We're going to go all over the place. I may take in the Giants game. I know we're taking the Canucks game in on the 10th. I'm very excited about that. And there's some other stuff we're looking at too. So stay tuned. And if you're a new subscriber, welcome. By all means, let's have this debate, because this is how I predicted it back when I was doing my predictions. And again, much like with the Winnipeg division, I mean the Central division, I'm going to keep things the way they are. But let's discuss it. So, they were the sexy Stanley Cup pick last summer, missed the playoffs, and now they're the sexy pick again. Everybody loves Tampa, including me, and I've predicted them to win the Stanley Cup. But Toronto fans, some of them are reasonable, some of them aren't. So I'm going to put this as plus minus, not for the team, but I'm going to say this. On the plus side, they've got a good young core, and they're on their way up. On the minus side, they're young, and young teams can fall back. On the plus side, they've got Austin Matthews, who looks like he could be a leading scorer in the NHL for a while. On the minus side, he is not going to score as many points as McDavid, and I do worry that there's so much pressure put upon him that he may grip that stick a little harder this year, and he may have some issues unless Marleau can talk him through it. Plus side, tons of depth. Minus side, I don't know that the defense is necessarily good enough. Rosen and Borgman come in. They'll play depth roles to help solidify that. We'll see if that works. Plus side, Freddie Anderson now is in the second year as a starter. Minus side, he had his poor portions of the season last year. Can he eliminate that this year? I still have them at second. Erik Karlsson. Oilers fans don't like to hear McDavid's the reason that they are where they are. Senators fans probably don't like to hear that Erik Karlsson's the reason they are where they are, but he is. Craig Anderson's a big part of it too. And there are other really good players in Ottawa. I've got McDavid on the brain. Most people do these days. It's an illness. It's a medical illness. Look it up. Don't look it up. It's not really an illness. Karlsson is the straw that stirs the drink in Ottawa. And if he's out for an extended period of time, this prediction turns out to be completely wrong. Montreal, I still question their scoring, and I question their defense. I do. That's why this is the dividing line for the playoffs. I see 5 teams making it in the Metro, and 3 in this division. Boston, there's just too many question marks with Boston's roster. And I'm not sold on Raska's being the elite goaltender. He's a good goaltender. He's above average. Is he elite? Not right now. He wasn't last year. And I don't see any reason to believe that he'll be played less this year, which I think would benefit him. So I have a lot of question marks. Florida's questions are scoring too. And, you lose Demers. And I don't know that I like the defense there either. And you give up Marchessault and you give up Riley Smith. And I don't know where the goals are going to come from. And I don't know where the depth is. And relying on European rookies to come in and do it, or in Dadonov's case, a guy who's been here before and tried it before, is risky at best. Buffalo all depends on the Jack Eichel show. Is Eichel ready to be a top 10 scorer in the NHL every single season? Can he be healthy? And of course, Detroit, their issues are they're a poor team right now, and then they've got the cap issue going forward. So how could this end up being wrong? So I've got Tampa at first. I've got Toronto in second. I've got Ottawa in third. Carey Price gets off to a really hot start. They could easily be first. Carey Price can pull Montreal to a very good record. He's done it before. We can debate playoffs later. Regular season, he absolutely can drag them to a good record. Boston, I could see Boston getting past Ottawa if Carlson's out for a while. Florida, I don't know what I see with Florida. Buffalo, I absolutely could see Buffalo being up there with Boston. Detroit, I think a bounce back's in order, and I could see Detroit knocking Florida down. So where would I rate this division? So the toughest division I say is the Metro. I don't think many people are going to argue with that. I would say Central's probably second toughest. And I'd rate this one probably third. So I agree that the Pacific's probably the weakest of the four divisions. But they've got the Oilers and the Ducks, and they're both Stanley Cup contenders in my eyes. So, weak divisions doesn't necessarily mean you're not going to see a Cup contender or a Cup champion come out of them. Montreal is a really interesting team in that I have them finishing out of the playoffs, which is revolutionary among predictions from what I've seen. But I could see them finishing pretty low down, and I could see them finishing pretty high up. There are a lot of factors that play into this. I honestly think they're going to miss Sergachev, who as soon as this season is going to be a star for Tampa. As soon as this season, as a rookie, he could be one of the linchpins on that blue line and help solidify Tampa and give them one of the best blue lines going forward. I can't give them that rating now because Sergachev hasn't played in the NHL yet. So you can't give that rating out until the guy's actually played in the NHL yet. So, Cup champs, I could see it being Tampa, and I could see Toronto being in the conversation. I don't see Toronto as a Stanley Cup contender right now. I don't. Will they be? Yes. Are they right now? I don't see them as a Stanley Cup contender right now. And I know there are Leafs fans. I'm trying to make room because I got all those ones at the top, right? I know there are Leafs fans who are going to be PO'd about that, and the hockey guy hates the Leafs. Hey, I got them second in the division, so if I hated them, I'd just say, you know what, they're just going to suck, and I'm just going to go ahead and put them out of the playoffs. No. So for point totals, I'm going to go out on a limb and say Tampa wins the President's Trophy and the Stanley Cup. Because eventually that jinx gets broken, because it's been broken before. Toronto, I'll say 106 points. I'll say Tampa runs away with it. The Senators, I'll give them 100 points. Montreal, 90. Boston, 88. Florida, 83. I'll say tied with Buffalo, because I don't like Buffalo being below Florida. And for the Wings, I'll say it's going to be a long season and they get 66 points. I'm left-handed, that's why that looks as bad as it does. So you can blame my genetics for that. So there you go. There's my predictions. And just a summary of them if you're curious about, well, where did you come to that conclusion with those teams? I did make predictions of all 31 teams that are available on this channel on a playlist. So if you're curious at all, that playlist is there. And every now and then I see comments on those season previews, so people are still watching them. And I thank you for that. I thank you for your support along the way. This is going to be a very fun season. Because as much as I've made these point totals vary, I could easily see most teams in the NHL compete with one another for playoff spots. I mean, if Boston came out of nowhere and won the division, not going to happen, but if Boston came out of nowhere and won the division, it's not like I'm going to be sitting here at the end of the year and crying that my predictions were wrong. If Montreal wins the division, I'm not going to be sitting here saying, I'm not going to make excuses, is basically what I'm saying. I'm not going to try to make excuses for why predictions do or don't come true. I've also never claimed to be smarter than anybody else when it comes to hockey. I'm a fan, and I like to project who finishes where. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through. And one last thing, just for anybody who comes in and says, well, where's the Stanley Cup playoff the line is here, the line is here, the line is here, and here. and I know I'm wrong. I know every prognosticator's predictions are going to be wrong. And that's what makes the NHL awesome. I think of the 4 leagues, and I'm comparing it to basketball, football, and baseball, I honestly think hockey's the hardest one to predict. Let me know what you guys think in the comments section below. Hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through. And thank you so much for watching. I'll talk to you again soon.